Well, of course, the current wave of protests sweeping the country started with the graphic video. We've all seen it. George Floyd dying under the knee of a police officer kneeling on his neck. But this image of brutality is one that we have become all too familiar with in America.
Yeah, this time it happened in Minneapolis, but Portland has been home to its own police violence. Well, joining us live this morning to talk about where we go from here is Daryl Turner, the president of the Portland Police Association. Thank you so much for joining us, Daryl.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. So I guess just first, what are your thoughts on the protests in Portland and how police are handling it so far?
Well, first of all, I want to give out my condolences to the Floyd family, his loved ones, and friends. That was just a terrible event, a horrific criminal act in Minneapolis, and I think, as we can see, it resonates nationwide against police officers, and especially the 800,000 good police officers that are out there. That gives us a bad name, and it puts us in a bad light. So I want to go ahead and do that first and foremost.
As far as what we've seen here in Portland over the last several days, especially last night, we saw protesters calling for peaceful protests. How do you think crowds have handled it? How have our officers handled it?
I think for the most part, the protesters have been peaceful, respectful, and I think officers have done a great job above and beyond the call of duty, obviously, to work long hours to make sure that those who are protesting peacefully are protected and safe as they do so. And for those who are the few that are causing disturbances, destroying property, assaulting other people and police officers, I would say that they are taking away from this message, this important message that nationwide we need to listen to, we need to hear, and we need to act on. They're taken away from that, and that in itself is a travesty.
Yeah, we've seen images of some Portland police officers kneeling with protesters in those more peaceful moments. I mean, what are some ways that police can begin to, fully address these concerns and bring an end to systemic racism?
And I think part of that is it's a bigger picture than just law enforcement. It's a bigger picture than just the criminal justice system. It's a socio-economical issue that we need to deal with nationwide. Our part in it is to be partners in that, to listen to that. And when we have bad acts by law enforcement officers, we separate ourselves from those because those are not the status quo for police officers. That's not the standard we set for ourselves nationwide, and that's not what we want to be depicted as. As a police union leader, I think it's incumbent upon us as police union leaders to do the same thing.
Daryl, I know as the union leader, you have pushed for protections for your officers, for more resources at the city level. I know this has been an ongoing issue here with staffing shortages and issues with the budget, with PPB. What are some of the challenges right now that the city of Portland is facing, that officers are facing, and how is that presenting kind of some unique challenges to the demonstrations we're seeing here?
And I think first and foremost, our staffing issues are catastrophic. And that is seen in the way the protests, the way we have to react to the protests, and the lack of ability to react to them, and to call in other agencies to help us to take not just help with us with the protests to make sure that the peaceful protesters are safe and protected as they exercise their First Amendment rights, but also the regular calls for service that we get every day. We are not able to even service those in the way we want to, in the way we should be, in the way Portlanders deserve to be. And I know a couple of weeks ago in city council budget hearings, there were people calling for cutting the budget for police. One of the main resources that people have in this city are public safety. And they look to public safety to be there when they want them to be there, when they need them to be there, when they need help. And if we don't have the adequate resources to do that, as we saw in response to the protests, this is the result of what happens.
Yeah, we saw that Chief Jamie Resch met with some of the protest leaders the other night. What message do you have for protesters on behalf of police officers from what you've been hearing?
Definitely exercise your First Amendment rights. Definitely go out there and let your voices be heard. But when you start to destroy businesses, when you start to destroy buildings, when you start to deface them, you are hurting other citizens. You are hurting citizens who are helping to feed the economy of the city of Portland, who are helping to give jobs to people, and all people, black, brown, white. And when you do that, you're putting them in jeopardy. And especially right now with the coronavirus and us on a precipice of a huge recession, more than we've ever seen before in our lifetimes and in many, many decades. People are just hanging on by a thread. And now we have people, a small amount, but still people who are destructive, who are destroying property. Those aren't people who are speaking for George Floyd. Those aren't people who are speaking for some of the injustices we may see in this country. Those are people who are selfish, who are out there, who are thugs, who are criminals, and causing mayhem just to say they did.
Daryl Turner, president of the Portland Police Association, we appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Thank you.